Is on lecture notes page, and these are our learning goals today. Some of them we explore a little bit, but today we're going to see it. What does that mean? So let's start with explain the model view controller pattern and give an example. So what is MVC? Let's start with the full form for MVC. M for model, exactly. V for view, and C for controller. Okay, so model view controller, and this is that. I got a different one. Yeah. So model view controller. Model we saw last time. What is a model? It connects class with the database. So actually model is the one who talks to database. View. Localhost in this case. View is, that means anything HTML or something that you are seeing on your browser. That is view. And controller, that is a middle layer, goes between model and view. So model is like, you can write your model and controller in one particular file. That's completely fine. But the standard way is model is in different file and controller is in different file. Model never talks to view directly without going through controller, like vice versa. Like view doesn't talk to model directly without going through controller. And so today we're gonna see a lot of stuff about how this controller combine models with the view. So I said like, oh, model doesn't contact view directly. So let's talk about example. Let's talk about a restaurant. So in a restaurant, when you go, you yourself, like you see the menu, right? So that's the view. Chef who is making those stuff, that's the model. And the waiter or attendant who is getting us, like taking our orders, passing it to chef, getting our things from chef to us, is the controller. So just like if you want to combine it to real life example, that's a real life example. Like when you see a menu, you yourself is going to be a user, but when you see the menu, that's a view for you. You tell your controller that, oh, I would like to order this dish. Your controller goes back to your model, that's the chef, and tell your chef like, oh, this person needs something this, give me that particular dish. Takes the dish, deliver it to yourself, and that's how it's model view controller. Questions so far? Okay, how many of you started with Sinatra Labs? Okay, I started a little. So now you're going to see whatever I'm going to show you right now, you're going to see that structure a lot. So today we're going to talk about how your lab structure is going to look like. We are familiar with this gem file. Yes? We are familiar with rec file? Okay. This config.ru file is just like your starting point for your application. It's just like requiring environment file and running some controller. We're going to talk about what controller does and stuff like that. But yes, Saeed?
So just in general, Sinatra is basically kind of like ActiveWeb. Basically,
they have their own structure, yes. Okay. Now in DB, we all are familiar with migrate. We're going to talk about what migration we have right now. Don't worry about it. App. You guys don't need to worry about adapter at this moment. I am using it to generating a fake data. Don't worry about it. I'm going to show you what it does, but you don't need to worry about it at all at this moment. Then controller. So controller has its own folder. Model has its own folder. View will have its own folder. So that means all the files are distributed in different folders according to their task. So if it's a view file, it goes under view folder. If it's a model file, goes under model folder. Until active record, we just see one, that is model. Nothing else like controller. But now we will do it differently. So why we need this MVC structure? So that means everyone is responsible for their own thing. They have their separate concerns. They are not overlapping their duties. Interacts with our database, how we create instances. Model, we already checked like how it interacts with our database. Controller, go in middle. HTML, that renders a web page. Okay, now a task for you guys before we see anything else. Okay, so turn around a person next to you. So not Shaid, Varia Jordan, Aaron Abedin. You guys have 2 minutes. Just talk through it. What is MVC? What do you think about MVC? Just like talk through it. And your time starts now. And just like one by one, like 1 minute one person talks, 1 minute another person talks. Yes. So for command to start Sinatra server is shotgun. That's the command, shotgun. And shotgun usually started on port 9393. So I'm gonna do this. It's the port is started, and can you guys see 9393? That's the predefined port. But sometimes you're already running some application, or some of your application is if running at this port, you can just do Sinatra -P, and you can choose the port on which port you want to run your application. So I changed 9393 with 5000. So I suppose one application is running at 9393 port on my machine, so I would just want to run it at 5000. That's the change there. But if it's not causing any problem, let's start with this. So first of all, let me just do bundle install one time, so we check we are not missing anything. Okay, done. Let's do shotgun. Server started. Here, localhost 9393. Boom. That means right now we haven't built anything. This is how Sinatra is gonna land up. Like, oh, you have application controller, but you have nothing in there. Okay. Then let's talk about these that implement one controller to route and process request. When I say route and process request, let's talk about the route. Anyone knows when I say route, what do I mean by route? No? Yes? Yes, we are trying to hit a specific URL. So when I go to this ESPN players list, it's showing me all the players. Yes? So can you see the URL? That URL shows me on which currently on which applications view I am right now. So that URL is very important. It shows us where we are, as well as it's tell our controller and model like what information I want. Like I would say like, oh, I just want information about all the players. Then all the players are there. So then tell me which you want to check out. Where is Houston? Yeah. Perfect. So now can you see? URL changed. Now we are like, oh, we are seeing Houston Rockets. Here are they. Now let's think about a player. Which you want to pick? Where is him? This one, yeah. And now, if I go there, can you see?
Why does it right after player there's like an underscore /
So that's how the URL is built. We're gonna see how we're gonna build our URL, but that's how they built it their URL. Like this, like yeah, it's just like their own. They choose their URL, but most of the time there are standard ways to choose the URL or the route. So this part here is called the route. So we can see his all the stats, last 5 games, stuff like that. Now, here, this is our application controller. Give me a moment. Yeah. In this application controller, what I'm going to do is, first of all, you need to tell what kind of request is that. Is it a get request or is it a post request or patch request or a delete request? So we're gonna say get request. Everyone familiar with get? Get means just getting some information. So what I'm saying is I am providing get functionality to my controller. So that means as soon as user try to get this information, I will return something. So get slash, that means I'm kind of making home page, like welcome page. And I don't want to do anything. I'm just like get slash and I'm going to do and end. So as soon as user or client hit this URL, what I want to do is I want to say some message. So let me say message and I want to say hello. That's the message right now. But how I'm going to display this on my browser? So for that, as I say, when we want to display something, what we're going to use? Sorry? No, not rest.write. What are we saying? We called it views, exactly. So we're going to create a new view that as soon as user hit this route, I want to show them this view. And for that view, we're going to build a new view. So let's start Sinatra Labs today itself because there are some things that I'm covering right now. So I'm not sure if you guys have seen this or not, but I'm going to give a file name home.erb. So you will see .html, .erb, or you will see just .erb. Both the files are for view, doesn't matter which which extension you give. So .html, .erb, or just .erb. Both should work completely fine, same thing. So if you think that some of the labs are talking about .html, .erb, and some of the labs just .erb, that those are the same, doesn't matter. Sinatra is just like, but we need to tell that it is a ERB file. Okay, what is ERB? Yes, Maria? It's like a blueprint for HTML. So let's think. Oh, not that. ERB in Ruby. It's just a template to display the views. That's the ERB is. I'm not looking for this one. Yeah. It's just like a template that's, yeah, it's called embedded Ruby. I was looking for this full form. So it's just a template to showing the HTML. It's just like a format, like how we store our Ruby file with .rb extension. We're going to store our view files with .erb extension.
So it just means that it's embedded into something else.
So this will help you to write HTML and Ruby, both the codes in one file. That's why it's .erb. So now, this is the view that I want to display when user hit the home page. So what I want to do is, I want to say user welcome, okay? Just want to say welcome to my app. We just want to say this. And let's talk about this in a moment. What I want to do is, as soon as someone hit this right, I want to say ERB, and in ERB, I'm saying which view I want to display. So what is the view file that I want to display? So because it's already ERB extension, we do not need to give the full name like home.html.erb. We just give the name. And how Sinatra knows that where this file is coming from? Because of this folder structure. Like inside the app, they always go in, because it's a ERB file, they go inside the view folder, inside the app, and looks for the file name that is matching that home. That's what's happening right now. It's just like I'm saying, as soon as user hit this route, I want to display whatever is in view, whatever is inside this view. And now, Let's refresh these. What information we get? Yes. So make sure you will get the error what they are looking for. So they are looking home.erb file inside controller and inside view folder. That means they are saying the structure that right now we have is that controller and views on same level. But they are looking for views folder inside controller. And that's how not we're gonna write our application. But it thinks that, oh, I wanna go inside because right now I'm inside the controller, I need to go there and look for this view that is not present there. So the solution to this is as soon as you start your controller, we just gonna say set, like I'm setting something, and we're gonna say set views, and then here you're gonna give app, single quote, double quote is fine, app slash views. That means we are defining that whenever application wants to find views, go and look views inside app folder, not inside the controller folder. It's just like we are giving them a different path that they are looking. So you will always encounter error, and it will tell you what error it is. So like this one, I find out that, oh, it looks for inside the controller folder, it looks for view. Okay, so now we have these. Let's try to refresh these. And now, okay, let me see if I'm missing something. No, it should be fine. Let me see. It should not give us problem with this name. Okay, so okay, that's a quick movement for me because I think it should not give us any problem. So, can you repeat that again?
So yeah, hit rename and then add that HTML back in. So, and then see if inside the get function, I guess, or whatever you want to call it, if the ERB.
Dot HTML.
See if that plays a factor.
I don't think so. You can do these, but I can give it a shot. No, because here you just need to give file name. Okay, I'll take a look and I will discuss this in next lecture, but I believe it should work. I don't know what's happening there, but I believe it should completely work with just, doesn't matter if it's html.erb or it's just erb. Rename it. I'm just putting .erb. Okay. Now, what I want to say is, in my view, I have this message, hello. I want to print that message in my view, but that is, @message is a Ruby code, right? @message equals hello, that's a Ruby code. I can just write hello right away here, and it's going to give me like, oh, that's the message that you want to display. So here, H1 is a tag. So everyone familiar with HTML? Okay. So if you don't understand any HTML tag, feel free to ask me at that moment because I'm just thinking that you guys know about HTML tags. So H1 is a header tag. So here I want to print whatever the message I'm sending from my controller. So, okay, a quick thing here. This is how you write Ruby code in your ERB file that is combining with HTML. So like elbow bracket, percentage elbow bracket. That means this is starting, this is ending. That's how you write your Ruby code inside the ERB file. But if you are printing something, printing that means like a put statement, you need to put equal to when you are starting your tag. And here, I'm just going to say at message. Okay. Let's try to hit this. And now we can see that hello that is coming from controller, not from anything else. Question so far? Like, just a quick recap. This is how you write your Ruby code in your ERB file. If you are printing statement, you have to put equal to. If you don't put equal to, let's see what happened. It will not print that. And one more thing. Do I need to put this @ message there? Can I just do message? Like, why it needs to be an instance variable? Why it's that @ there? Can I just do these? Yes? No? It's just a variable. I'm defining a variable in Ruby, and can I reuse that variable? What I get? And can you see this application controller? What's that? That's an instance. So what happens is when you combine your controller with the view, your controller create that instance for the controller, and then whatever I am writing here, that's why you have to put it in an instance variable. Only instance variable you can pass it from your controller to view. And how this @message has visibility in home.erb? It's because we are inside this route, we are saying get slash, and for this one I'm saying ERB home, and then I want to display the message. So that's why that's how I have access to message inside my home, but it has to be an instance variable. So those are some key points there, and it's fine. Okay, any more question? Do you guys like, oh, why it's there, why it's not that? Yes, Nash?
So get slash, that just means that it's any URL, or it looks for a particular slash in the URL?
No, it's when you have just slash, that means it's the starting page.
So then
starting page, that means this.
Okay.
So it doesn't matter whatever is there. It's just like starting page. As soon as someone hit 9393, I want to show this. Or 1993, whatever. As soon as they start server and they hit this particular local host, I want to show something. That's why just hash
if we're
slash.
Hosting it, would that be equivalent to the index? Like
Yeah, index page, you can just write. If it's an index page, you can write index page. So suppose I want to say like, oh, home page. Okay?
Sure.
So if I hit 9393, I would not get that page now. But if I do slash home, we have that page there. So that's what after get, what is that, whatever inside that codes, that is going to be your route in your browser. So I'm just going to say this is a home page, that's the route. Okay, anyone thinks that why we put ERB after message? If I reverse it, it should work? Yes? No? Or I give you 3 options. Yes, no, or let's test it. Let's test it. That's the particular option. Yes, of course, let's test it. Oh, we are testing for home. Let's go there. What do we get? We are not even getting, we are getting hello, but we are not even getting the HTML view that we are supposed to get. So to finding from this is your view is always going to be last line in your route. Like before you end, that's where you put your view. Sorry, you put your view that this is the ERB file. So if you put it somewhere in middle or in top, there are chances you will not get your view that you wanted to get. Okay?
So what if we're not using ERB, what does get will return? If it will be text, it will just print text, right?
So it's like you're saying if you're not using this ERB at all, yeah, whatever inside that, I think it's just like hello that we are printing, like it's @ hello. That's it.
But it will be something like more complicated. return array.
So like you are saying array equals 1, 2, 3, like this.
Yeah.
Let's see this. Ooh. Undefined method each for 2 integer. That means they are trying to print that, but it's an array. That's why they are couldn't print it. So we'll see if we want to print array, what we're gonna do in a moment. When we have like couple of books and we want to print all the books, how we can print it. We're gonna see in a moment. So for now, let's have this ERP. Okay, and let's go to these our cute little learning goals for today. Implement one controller to route and process request. Did we complete with that learning goal? Yes? No? Can I hear yes or no or I don't know? Yes, I hear a couple of yes. So yes, we just made it. Let's give a quick recap to these. Get request. This is our route that we want to hit. As soon as we hit this route, this is what we want to do. We just want to display this view. And inside that view, we have all this stuff. Okay. How params hash change when the data comes from? Let's think through this, like how params hash change when data comes through this. So give me a moment. Now, at the end, can you guys see these deliverables? We're going to achieve those deliverables now with these learning goals, like how params hash change and stuff like that. So that's our first deliverable. View all the books and the URL is going to be get/books. So guys, now make sure your request and your route has a meaningful name. That doesn't mean you can give it any name you want to give, but when I say meaningful name, that means if I want to see all the books, the route should be /books, not like /book or /boo or /bs or stuff like that. It's going to look like /books. That's what we want. So now, a quick question for you guys. I have my migration. If I want to create a schema out of my migration, how I can create it? Clear? Yes. Rake db migrate. It's migrated. Let's look at our schema. So our schema is going to be in which folder? DB folder. That's our schema. We have 2 tables. Sorry, we have just 1 table with 2 columns, title and snippet. And this seed file. Okay, so I told you in the beginning that I have created there was an adapter, right? So this adapter is, you don't need to worry about if you don't understand it fully, but it's just like, do you guys remember we talked about Books API, Google Books API during our Mod 1 lecture? So it's just like I am using that API to get some data. So it's just like REST client getting the data, passing it to JSON, and then I'm creating a new book with title and snippet and saving it. These 2 methods I'm not even using, so you don't need to worry about. But that's what this adapter is helping me to do. In my seed file, I'm just like Google Books, that's the module that I created. Can you guys see that module, Google Book, class adapter? So I am using these in my seed file, that module, class, new, I am passing some variable there and using fetch book method. So
We haven't talked about modules
no,
yet.
you don't need to worry about. That's what I'm saying. You don't need to worry about these. Usually, this is just right now I'm creating dummy data. That's why it's there. But you don't need to worry about. But yes, we have talked about modules for sure. Active record base. So active record is a module. Base is the class. That's why when we inheriting, this kind of example similar to this. But we right now, we are learning Sinatra. We don't need to worry about how we're going to create modules and stuff. It's just like a later on thing that if you want to explore, for sure explore it. But for now, we don't need to worry about it. And I think I changed my adapter a little. So I'm just going to change it back. Otherwise, it will create a problem. Before I was creating with author, that's why it's there. You don't need to worry about it. So what we're going to do now is, if I want to seed data, how I'm going to seed the data? Rake TB seed. Okay. Now, always, before moving forward, make sure you have the stuff that you wanted. So I'm just going to do book.all. I have all the books. Good. Some of the snippets is null, that's fine, but I have all the books, so that's good. So before moving forward, I'm just checking if my data is seeded or not. Everyone with me? Okay. Now, let's go back to our controller. Okay. Now, I want to create this route so that I can see all the books, okay? So just help me, whatever we learned so far. What kind of request it's going to be? It's going to be get. What route I am looking at right now? /books. Okay, do end. I am looking for /books, and then as soon as user hit this route, I want to do something with my books. Yes? Okay. Now, I want to, as soon as user hit this, I want to show some view, and that particular view is, I'm going to give name index. Why index? Anyone has like explored this before or not? So from now on, your all of your request routes and your view files has a little bit standard way to write it. So when I say you have a get, so that's a get request, you want all the books. So /book is your route. So that's a request route. Then what is going to be your view name is, you can name it whatever you want to name it, but if you follow the standard way, it's like, if this is, my application is about the books, right? So my index page, like as soon as like we were hitting the players page, it was showing all the list for the players. Yes? So like this one, as soon as I hit the index page, I want to see all, as soon as I hit this books, I want to see all the books in there. So that's why I'm giving my view index name. Like as this is my books application, as soon as you hit this, you can see all the books that I have in my application. So, okay.
So right here, we're referring to index as whatever the current page we're looking at?
No, we are referring to, yeah, index is a home page, but for my application, my home page is displaying all the books because it's the application about the books. Okay. Suppose you go to Eventbrite, right? As soon as you hit the Eventbrite's homepage, you will see all the events there. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Eventbrite or not. Eventbrite is just like what events are happening around. So as soon as you hit the homepage, it will give you all the list of events. Likewise, as soon as we hit our homepage or our index page, my application is about the books. That's why I want to display all the books in there.
So in this case, index doesn't matter scope.
What do you mean by scope?
Our scope is the books page, right? So since we're referring to the books page, index is referred to as books page.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So now, where should I create that view? Above. Ooh. No. I'm saying I need to create my views file. Where should I create that file? In views, not keep is a hide folder. In views, and we're gonna name it index.erb. Now here I'm gonna say, let's give it header tag, and I'm gonna say all the books. Right now, don't worry about it. We are not displaying the book, but we try to hit this route and show this page. So if I want to check that I'm hitting that route or not, how I'm going to check it? Just refresh it or slash books. Ooh, why it does that? Site can't be reached. Not even Sinatra error. Yes, because I haven't restarted my server after closing it. Make sure you start your server before you hit localhost 3000. Or sorry, localhost whatever number is there. So you need to start your server, and now if I hit this one, all the books. Yes? We are not displaying any books right now. We are just steadily giving all the books. Okay, now you guys know how to display it for sure. Let's write this solution. I want all the books. Yes? How I can get all the books? Exactly, book.all. Yes? That's how I'm going to get all the books. So I'm saying at books. So now this is going to be an array of all the books. Yes? And I'm saying book.all. So now can you guys see this controller is talking. So book is our class, that is our model. So now this controller is talking to model and telling like give me all the books. And once it has all the books, it's storing inside at books variable and passing it to our views. That is our index page. So now in index page, it's an array, right? How I'm going to display an array? How? First of all, I need to iterate through array. Yes, no. Because it's a couple of items in there. Yes, we need to iterate through our array. So what we're going to do is, it's a Ruby code. Iteration is a Ruby code. So now I'm going to do books dot each, because I don't want to return any kind of array. I want to display something. So do, and here I am saying each one, I am telling it's a book. And then for, okay, can I write my code like this? No. For every single line, every new, if it's an enter, you need a new at the elbow and percentage tag there or symbol there.
Will it know it's related to the previous?
Sorry?
It won't know if it's related to the previous code, right?
It would know.
It would.
It is, yeah, because it's a do. And so it's just like how you read Ruby. Ruby knows that like you have a do until you don't need until you don't hit n. That's where you want to go, like do and end. So we are gonna say like, okay, actually, here I wanna. Are you guys familiar with li tag? List item. So in HTML, if you want to show something in bullet points, that's a li tag.
You need a UL just like that.
So yes, you need UL. UL is unordered list. So your structure is going to look like UL, li, first book name, li, second book name. So each li is going to be each bullet point. That's the HTML thing, how you write in HTML. So what I'm going to do is, before these, I'm going to say it's a UL / UL. I'm going to end this in a moment. Let me actually, let me end this so we don't forget to end it. Always end it. Now, for each iteration, that means for each book, I want to create LIs in there. So we're going to do LI. And for each LI, I want to display books title. That's it. That's what I want to display. Just book title. I don't want to display anything else. I just want to display book title. So as I say, I am displaying it. That means I need the equal to sign. Okay? Everyone? We need that equal to sign. And now, each one we are calling it book, right? So I'm going to call it book dot title. So here we said these are all books. UL, that means we are giving unordered list. We are giving those bullet points. And for each book, we are saying it's an LI. So we are creating that LI. So book iteration, for each iteration, we are creating LI.
Can we use an ordered list here? Like
Anything we can use on our order list. That's just your choice. It's not a requirement. It's not matter. It's not necessary you have to give li. You can use p tags there. That's completely fine. But you need to use some HTML tag to differentiate it.
That LI is the standard.
It's just like I would like to display it in a bullet point. That's just me. So now if I refresh these, ooh, all the books there. All the books list is there. Now don't need to worry about it. See how many books we have. We have there.
Quick question. So
Uh-huh.
how does it know to repeat the LI if the LI is not within the Ruby code?
It is in the Ruby code.
But it's because of the end.
Because of the end. So it knows that I need to repeat whatever inside this do and end. I need to repeat how many elements in the array. That's why you have to put this li in the do and end. If I have this li outside, it's going to give me a huge long string in just one bullet point.
But the UL isn't inside the.
No, so when you have li, so li is always wrapped with ul. So you only have one ul and couple of li's. That's how HTML works. Like ul, that means starting for unordered list, then li means list items, and then ending of unordered list. That's how it's running right now. Boom! All the books there, right? So let's go through here. We are done with this part. Showing individual book. Now we need to show individual book. Like I want to show like this is the title, this is the snippet. I want to show information about individual book. Okay, I see some faces, like a little bit concentration we need here. So what we're going to do is it's 10:23. We're going to meet here at 10:30. Okay, 7 minutes break, get your coffee, refresh yourself, and 10:30 we'll start again. Okay, perfect. I want to do.
Do you need to add another file to the views? But it said what? It said home/ID? No, books/.
Yeah, but that view is for an individual book. Right now, we are displaying all the books. Yes? Now, as I say, like I want to see information about a particular book one by one. So, what my route is going to be, so first of all, you will write your routes and everything in your controller. So, always start with the controller, and we are saying I like, oh, it's get route. What is the route?
Books.
/books
Colon.
:ID. So when I say colon ID, that means when anything is colon something, that means it's a variable path. That means it's not fixed. Every book has its own ID. So we are saying that we're going to grab that ID from there and do our stuff in the controller and show it in a view that we want to display. Okay. And do
So
and
after the get, you're
Mhm.
just writing what you want the name of the URL to be.
yes. And these are like standard. I'm using the standard way to write it, like /book and whatever the ID of the book. Do you remember when we were seeing Houston Rockets player, it was / and the last thing was player's name. Here we want the ID. We don't want the name. Here we want the ID. So we are writing the ID. Okay, but how it's gonna work? Let's see this. I have made this route, but I need to create a views and stuff. Now, your good friend is going to be bybug. What is bybug? Don't know. Do you guys know what is binding that pry? What it is? It's a debugger. Same thing. Bybug is your friend in Sinatra. instead of binding.pry, it's gonna stop at that point and it will tell you what to do and what not to do. Like you can test your stuff. So it will not tell you what to do and what not to do. Just disregard that particular statement. I don't know why I said that, but it's just like you will test your code in the bybug like you were doing in binding.pry. So I want to hit that route. So I'm saying /book/1. Okay. I'm here and let me see if I hit that bybug here or not. It's saying undefined method. Let me see if I have that in my, I think it's just pry. So let's try to use binding.pry. Let's use pry. We are all familiar with pry. And if we hit these, oh yeah. Make sure if you shut down your server. Okay, I shut it down a few times. How to shut down your server?
Control-C.
Yes, it's Control-C. That's how you close your server. So here, see, I hit that particular routes. Okay. Here, have you guys realized I did book/1? 1, that means the ID of the book that I have passed there. So I'm saying, okay, so now I have a particular book's ID. Can I find the book out of all the books? Yes. So how I'm going to get this ID from the URL? Something called params. Params, that means the variable path in your URL. We said our URL is having a variable path and we want to say whatever is instead of ID. So now we get a hash with key and value pair. So that hash is, okay, ID is the key, 1 is the value that I have passed in that URL. So if I want to find a book, can I do book.find and params? Oh, let's do it this way. Params, and then if I do ID, because it's a 1. So now can you guys realize something here? I did :ID. It's a string, right?
The one you're saying is a string?
No. Key. Do you guys remember in module 1, if key was string, we have to pass it as a string. If it was symbol, we have to pass it as a symbol. Here, why it doesn't matter if I'm gonna do params string ID, still I get 1. So here it doesn't matter because if I do params dot class, I get, this is an indifferent hash. So it's different from the hash. That means here it doesn't matter if your key is string or symbol, you can get it either way. That's what this is a different from mod 1. Like in mod 1, if hash was a string, the key was string, we have to pass it the string. If the key was symbol, we have to pass the symbol. Here it doesn't matter. That's why it's like if I can just do these, I have that. So now if I do book.find and I pass like, oh, whatever the params ID is in there, I want that. And I got the first book. Yes?
So it converts 1 from string to integer.
Yeah, it take care of that thing for you. You don't need to worry about it converting to integer and all those stuff. It just check the ID that is matching the ID in your table. So now I am exiting out of it. It says like, because we don't have any view for it, it's just gonna give us any blank page. Now here, I'm gonna say at book equals book.find, and how I'm gonna get the ID? Params ID. Everyone with me? Now I have the book. I want to show the book. Okay, it times for the view. We want to show information about the view. So we're going to call this view show page because it's showing the information. So if it's all the books, that's the index page. If it's a particular book, then we are calling our view show because it's showing a particular book's information. So show. Now I go back to my views, create a new file called show.erb, and here I want to display all the book information, right? So I'm going to say p tag, I'm going to say book title. How I can display book title? It's a Ruby thing, so we need those Ruby tags there. We want to display the title, so it's equal to, we are passing our book as @book, so @book dot title, and let's say I want to display snippet as well, so I'm just going to say book snippet and how I'm going to display book snippet. Exactly, percentage equals @book dot snippet percentage closing tag. So now if I hit these, I get the first book. First book doesn't have any snippet, that's why that line is empty. And now it doesn't matter whatever book I want. If I do /5, I will have the 5th book. So that is coming. So it's hash, that hash was coming from params. We are grabbing that hash and now we are showing the information from the URL, whatever we are grabbing.
I was wondering how a website like YouTube, which has millions and millions of things, can do that, but you just wrote one code and it does
all the things for you. You don't need to write code for each and every ID. You just write a general code that applies to all of your data. Yeah. So controller.
Wait, but you said if it was applied to. Okay.
Okay. I said yes to model. No, we are not writing any code in our model. So
this is view.
This is view, and that view is coming. So what happening is, if you guys are wondering, so as soon as in my URL I hit this route, it comes to controller. It thinks like, oh, out of all these, oh, it's matching this route. Okay, I need to go here. Then inside this, it's like, oh, it's talking about the book model. I should go to book model, find that book, return that book, show it in here, and then display that book in show page. Yes, Maria?
So inside this HTML, when we use this book,
Mm-hmm.
right, we don't have or have we access to previous
No.
books and
No, we have just access to this @book. That's it. I don't have access to @message or I have access to @books. If I try to write that, that's a nice one. Let's just give it a shot. What we get, right?
it will be empty or it will be like really ugly.
I believe it should be empty, or if it gives error, it will give error, but it should not give us like, oh, this is the message. I think it's not showing anything
Because
because they don't know what is @message is.
I mean, right now it's just empty variable for them in this particular method.
Yeah, so it's just like, oh, I don't know what @message is. I'm gonna skip it and I'm not gonna display it. That's what it does. So
because you're in the show file.
because we are right now in this route, and @message is in another route, so it's like, oh, I will only have access to whatever is between this do and end inside my show
But
page.
if we will put this message outside of all methods.
Yeah, then if we created a class variable or stuff like that, then we have access, like a global variable and stuff.
Not possible.
But like global variable, you can design a global variable, and if you want to use it again and again, you can use it. But usually it's like, it's just a You're hitting that route and you want just that information. Okay, any question before I move forward? Yes, no, don't know. Okay, let's think through this. Okay, let's get back to this. Demonstrate how params has changed where the data comes from. We see how params hashes changes. The data is coming from the URL. Ooh, done. Now, implement ERB template, get it to render data from controller and model. So implement the ERB template, get it to render data from controller and model. I think we are kind of doing it in all of our steps, but still there is one thing that I would like to discuss before we go for create a new book, okay? It's more of a kind looks thing that if I go to /books, I can see all the books, right? So when user comes to our application, our user knows what's the ID for the book. User doesn't know it, right? User just like clicking on the title and user can see what's the information about the title. That's how usually our application is, right? Yes? Okay. So in this index page, where you have this book title, right? I have LI. Have you guys heard anything about A tag? So A tag is an anchor tag that is help to provide links to a particular text, whatever is between those tags. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to link it and then I'm going to give it reference. So href, that means hyperlink reference. I'm giving reference, and here in the reference you can write any URL that you want to hit. But since we are already in our application, I will show you a little nice thing. Said what we're gonna do is I'm gonna say I want to hit /book/ that particular book's ID, because we already inside the iteration of the book. So I'm going to say I want to hit that particular book's ID. Again, it's a Ruby code, and I'm going to say book.id. So that ID part I am taking from this book's iteration. So I'm saying that, oh, I want to hit this book. I just show me information about this book. And since we already created this route, here we don't need to worry about it, what it's doing and where it's going. So now if I save it, let me put these things into lines so you guys can see it. Okay, so now if I refresh these, ooh, all those are view because those are links now. And now if I click like these, it's going /book/11. So like user, it's a nice user experience. They click on the book information just display. They don't need to worry about what's inside the book and what's going on. Yes? Making sense? Question? Okay. Sorry? What do you mean by functions?
Like, if we wanted to click on the link, but it pops up like a kind of like a custom little thing on the bottom, like a snippet shows up on the bottom instead.
That's more styling thing.
Okay.
That's more styling, or in a JavaScript, how you show the alert box. Like your box is saying that you're logged in. That's more styling and alert thing. But I think wherever you can link, and then you have to pass the URL that you want to display. Okay. Let's get back to our deliverables. Now, we are done with, in CRUD application, we are done with our part, right? Reading all the books, reading information about one book. Let's discuss about C part, like creating books, yes? So when I say creating books, that means now we want information from the user. Like user needs to write title of the book and snippet for the book so that we can add it to our database. So for that thing, now there are 2 routes that we need to create. Can anyone tell me why those 2 routes are there?
Because post is to make the new, to create it, and get is to get the book, I guess, that you created.
The first part was correct, get part was not. So the thing is, I said like we want information from user to create the book. So if we want that information, we need to give user that form that, oh, this is the form, fill out that form. So to give that form to user, we need the get route. And then once user is done with that filling the information, then we're gonna hit the post route. So post is never visible to user. User only see the get things. So what I mean by that is, let's start building this create route. So first of all, it's a get /books/new. That means I want to create a new book. Do end. For this one, I don't need to worry about creating, like grabbing anything from database and displaying somewhere, because it's just like we are displaying something. Like, let me comment it. New book, okay? So we are just saying ERB new. That means now we need to create this new view for us. So we're going to go inside views, create new dot ERB. I'm not in the right folder, thank you. Let's go and put it in a right folder. So now we have views, new ERB. So now I want to give my user that show page that, oh, this is just fill out some information there. So I'm going to say form. It's a HTML tag that's just giving you a form, like those input box, how when you go to Facebook or something, it gives you login form, like username and password. So that's just a HTML tag form. Then I'm gonna give it label is a tag, like what you want to display before that input box. So I'm gonna say title, and then it's a input thing, and it's type equal text, and then we need to give name equals, I'm gonna give it, this is title, and close it. So I'm gonna copy paste it, it's snippet, name it snippet. Okay, any question about this HTML? It's just gonna give us 2 input box on the screen. Yes, Saeed?
Why you probably mentioned this earlier, but like for having type and name on the same line, you can do that.
In HTML, everything until you don't close your tag, everything is going to be on the same line.
Okay.
It's not the enter and stuff. In HTML, that's how you write the tags. So at the end, I want to give it a button, right? That says like, oh, submit this book. So we're gonna say tag input type submit. A quick refresh on HTML. Every form should have just one and only one submit button. A form cannot have 2 submit buttons, just one.
So is submit a keyword that HTML already knows?
Yes. So when I say type, text, name, this is not the keyword, but other than everything is a keyword in HTML. So HTML understand what it's going to show. And when I say type submit, that means it's understand I need to create a submit button, and whatever inside the value I'm going to put, it's like create book. That is going to be the text on the button. So now we make a route /book/new, right? We should see that form. Yes? Ooh, what do I get? It's looking for some other route. I said like, oh, I want new, and it's looking for ID equals new. So Ruby reads from top to down, top to bottom. So what happens is when it sees all those route, it thinks like, oh, here the route is, it knows after the second slash, whatever is going to be variable. So Ruby thinks that as a ID, we are passing new. Ruby doesn't know that, oh, it has to be something like integer or some number. So Ruby thinks that, oh, we are trying to hit line number 15, but actually, we want to hit line number 22. Yes? So Ruby thinks that, oh, those are trying to hit line number 15, and then it's look for ID, and now ID is not there. So what can be solution to this? Flip it, exactly. Just put the new one on the top.
But then how doesn't it get confused when you are looking for an actual ID?
No. New part is variable or not?
No,
It's not. So if I'm passing anything that is not new, then it's going to go to ID because that's a variable part. That's how Ruby reads it. So if now I hit these new, I get that form that we created, and now let's test the 11, and so now our routes are okay. So now I go to slash new. Okay, we have this new. That means we are done with this part. Getting a new book, like creating a new book. We haven't created it yet, but we at least giving form to user that user, if you like to create, you can create a book. But now, how I'm going to connect it to my books? So let's create this route. We are creating a new book. So here, post slash books. It's a post method slash book. Do end. Okay. Can my two routes be same? Yes, but if you are giving two requested to this. Can you see we have slash books with get route, we have slash book with post. So your URL can be similar, but those according to those requests, it's going to choose which block to run. Okay, now I want to hit this one, and I'm putting binding.pry in there because I want to hit this one and how I'm going to do it. So can I hit it? Can I hit binding.pry right now? If I click on that button? No. So how form works is you need to tell your form specifically to where to go and what route to hit. So we're going to tell our form that action, and we're going to say action is going to be slash books. That's the action, like whichever URL you want to go. And here, I'm going to say which method I want to send. So as a method, I'm going to send post. Okay. So in form, we are saying go to this URL. As soon as someone click on the submit button, go to that URL, and the method is going to be post. So now, if we go back to our controller, and here, let's try to hit that button. So I'm saying Harry Potter, and we want to say test. I hit create book. Who? I'm on same page. I haven't even hit the binding.pry. What could be potential reason behind it? Because I gave a wrong route. It's a slash books. Action slash book. I was just having slash book, not the books. So like right now, write test, create book. What happened? Why it's hitting that? Let me actually close my server, start my server again. go to book/new. Let me check. Yeah, it's books. It's /book, post, and do. Title, Harry Potter, test, create book. Okay. Hit our binding.pry. Okay, cool. We are hitting our binding.pry. Now, I want to see params. What do you guys think? What params should I get? Title and snippet? Where are params coming from? In past, where were params coming from? From URL. But when you have the forms, and then, can you guys see? It's a hash that is coming back with the key and value pair and title and snippet. Where are those key coming from? Yes, exactly. In the form, whatever name we are giving to our input box, that is coming as the key for our params. So now we have title and the book. So what we're going to do is, how can we create a book? Book.create. Because we want to create it and we want to save it to our database. So it's just like book.create, and instead, because the whole hash is with key and value pair, so I don't need to worry about anything. I can just say params, because params itself is the full hash with 2 key and value pairs. So I don't need to worry about passing any particular things. I want title and snippet both. So we don't need to worry about it, anything. And we have this params. So now I'm going to exit it out for now. Start my server. Go back to /book/new Harry Potter, and we want to say visits. Okay. Create book. We are on /books, but we are not seeing that books because we are right now in post route, and it's just like, oh, I don't know where to go. But in the background, can you guys see? It's creating that book for us. So now, if I hit /book route, oops. The last book is Harry Potter that we just created. Harry Potter Wizards. But the thing is, when we are creating from the form and when we click on the button, it was giving us blank page. Because we were not, in your post, you will never have the view. But what you need to do in your post and anything else is like, you need to redirect it to some page. Like, as soon as you create the book, like how you were creating the Facebook account. As soon as you create your Facebook account, it will send it to your homepage. That's a redirect thing. So the same thing, we're going to do it here. So as soon as we create the book, I'm going to redirect. And where we want to redirect? We want to redirect to /book, and this is going to be get route. So we are saying go to /book. Redirect /book. So now let's go to book/new. Anyone wants to create a book? Yes, Saeed. Which book you want to create? The habits or oh TS? Just IT. Okay, and snippet. Let's say return by Saeed. Okay, and then create book. It's okay, and it's sending us to the book, and we have the last book that we just created. Sounds good?
Can you just set up that based on the submit button? You can set the submit button to reroute to this website as well. This link.
That's what we did in our so
but
what's
you did it through Ruby, whereas doing it through HTML.
So in action, you can only choose one route. You cannot give more than one route in your action. That's how HTML form works. You have to give only one route. So because our first task is to create the book. That's why we are sending it to post, books, and here in method we are saying post books book.create and redirect it to book, and boom, we are done with that one part. So we are done with creating the book. A quick recap: to create book, first of all we need to provide user the form to give us detail packs. That's why we created /book/new route that is showing us the form. Once the form is there, fill out the form, and that form is sending us to posting the book, where we are creating the book and then we are redirecting to the index page so we can see the book that we just created with the list of all other books. Okay? Sounds good? Question? Okay. Who? Edit an existing book. Bless you. Edit an existing book. Now we want to edit. That means we want to update a book. For that one, we need two routes. Again, for editing a book, we need to give chance to user that what user wants to edit. So that means we need to give again user the form, but now instead of giving an empty form, we need to give user the form with the previous details that we have. Yes? So it's going to be get. The route is going to be /books. Now we are editing a book, right? So I'm saying /books/ particular ID, that means a particular book, and then we want to edit it. So my route is going to look like book/ID/edit, do, and end.
And whenever it's a variable, you always put the colon?
Yes. Whenever we want to say that part of the URL is varies, where we put a colon there. So now we are saying that, oh, we want to edit. So now, before editing a book, before showing them the view page, I need to find out that book, that, oh, this is the book that user wants to edit. Yes? I'm just going to reuse this. Book.find params ID, because already it's a part of the URL. We got the ID, we find out the book. Now, the ERB or the view that we want to display, the view is we're going to call it edit. If it's a new book, we are calling it new. Now it's edit. So here in view, we're going to create a new view called edit.erb. Okay. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to use all the same methods. All the same thing except this thing. We're going to change it a little in movement. We have title and stuff. But now, as I say, we want to display the previous values there, right? So we're going to say value equals, everyone familiar with how to print the Ruby thing in ERB? How? Percentage, sorry? Percentage equal or not? Okay. And where can I get my book's title? Yes. Where can I get my book's title? At books? Do I have access to add books? Add book. What do I have access to? Add book, because we are finding that book and store it inside an instance variable called add book. So here in edit, we're going to say at book dot title. And likewise, the same thing for snippet, we're going to say add book dot snippet. Okay? Let's try to see this. Before editing this, let's try to see this, if we can see the information about the particular book or not. So book/23 edit. Boom. Yes, we have all that information. But now, instead of create book, I want to say edit book, because we are editing the book. Okay, can anyone tell me what is going to be the form action? So patch, and then it's going to be books ID. That means first of all, we need to create that. Yes? Patch /books/ID do end. Whatever we want to do, we will take a look, but I just want to hit this binding.pry. This is all, just like create a route, try to test it if you're hitting that route or not. And here in form, I'm going to say action. What is going to be my action? Action is the URL that we want to pass in there. /books/ you guys want to see? For patch, it's going to be a particular book's ID. So it's going to be book ID. So it's again that varies. So we're going to say at book.id equal to, because we want to print it, that we want to take that ID part of our URL, and then once we have this action method, what is going to be the method? It's an edit, so what is going to be the method? Patch. Yeah, that's right, patch. And then we have books, patch, blah blah blah, and we have stuff. Okay, let's try to do this, and I want to claim this book that is returned by me, not Saeed. Yeah, Saeed cheated me and then he wrote his name, but it's actually I wrote this book. So I want to say, so you want to refresh? Yeah, let's refresh. So I want to say, instead of Saeed, I want to say this is returned by Vidhi. That's like, this is returned by me. And if I edit book, I should hit that binding.pry, right? Ooh, I am hitting return by Saeed, and I'm not hitting that binding.pry. And believe me, I wrote the route correctly. You can trust me on that. Why that's happening there?
Because it's patching.
Patching, yes, because I'm patching. But what's the problem in there?
Is it hitting one of the other bits or something?
If it's hitting one of the other, it should let us know that what it is hitting. I can see that it's not giving problem. It's actually hitting it's displaying the things, right? That means it's actually hitting this one. But route is like, I'm saying that you can give the same route, but methods is different. Why it's still hitting the get? Because it's above. No, if it doesn't matter if the requests are different, the routes. So like for the books, right? We were posting the book, still we were not hitting the get books. We were hitting only the posting book. So in this point, the order doesn't matter. So here I'm going to tell you a little thing about internet. Internet only, I know it's a scam, internet only understand get and post. Internet doesn't understand patch and delete. So that's a scam. Internet just like, I know get and post. So if you're telling me to go to that URL, and if you're giving me any other method than get and post, I will just convert it to get. So what we're going to do here is, we are going to hack the internet. What we're going to do is, first place, we're going to tell internet that we are sending a post request. But under the hood, we are going to send the patch request. How we can do this is, what I'm going to do here is, first of all, here in your controller, you need to set the overridden method. So I'm going to say set method underscore override, and what I'm going to put it is, I'm just going to set it true. That means I am allowing my controller to override methods. That means if it's trying to hit the get, I want to actually hit the patch. This is on your controller side. But on your view side, what we're going to do is, we're going to, instead of patch, I am telling that this is post. Why it's post? Because post can carry the data with the request. So I'm going to say, oh, this is the post. So internet is like, oh, this is a post. That's good. That's the good part about it, that this is a post. So I don't need to worry about it. I can just give it this request to controller. But then I'm saying input type. I am giving type hidden. Did I? Yes. And then as a name, I'm going to say underscore method. Make sure you have that underscore in your name. That's how we can try to, under the hood, try to pass another method instead of post. So we are saying input type hidden name method, and as a value, I am passing patch in there.
Why does it make you go through all that? Why?
Because internet doesn't internet, the way internet was written, that internet only understand get and post. So from current standard, internet only understand those two things as of now. So that's why it's just like we are trying to tell that, oh, we are giving a post request, but under the hood we are, by passing this second line, we are telling that actually I want to do patch, not the post.
Is that underscore the reason why on that?
That's the
NVDA
name of the
website?
method. Sorry?
Is that why on the NVDA website they have the underscore? In their
No. That's totally a different thing. That was a part of the route. So here we have this patch, and when it goes back, when it goes to controller can see here that, oh, I am allowing the methods to override themselves. That means if someone is sending post, I need to check if they are overriding that post by something else, and if yes, then I want to hit that route. So if we save it now, let's go back to 23/edit. I want to claim back my book, edit book. We are hitting our binding.pry now. Making sense, everyone? So now, if I do params as a snippet, can you see? And as an underscore method, we got this patch. That's how it's hitting that particular patch, because it's a part of that param. So now, how to write our patch? Now I want to say like, oh, I'm done with this. I want to write my patch. So I have the ID. That's 23. Yes? So from ID, can I find the book? Of course. So what we're going to do is we're going to do book.find params ID. Now we have that book. Now I want to change. It doesn't matter. User can either change the title or user can change the snippet, because those are the two values that user might change. So I'm just going to have to update a particular book. What's the active record method that we are using to update a book? What was that?
I remember it, like one,
It starts with P? Okay. Great. /T. That's for the database thing. It's just like I'm trying to update a particular record. .update. Just like how we were creating .create. It's just .update. So I am finding this book. So I'm saying B equals, then I am finding this book. Okay. Then I just need to do B.update. Then as an update, I want to say, now I cannot use the whole params, because params has some of the extra thing that my database doesn't need at that moment. So we just want to say title equals params title, and snippet equals, sorry, it's colon, and params snippet. So see, So they are updating my book there. So now, if I do book.find.params ID, can you see this? We have changed this. So I'm just going to use all these things in my patch. We are just doing right now this in terminal. So let's go back to our controller. We're going to write our stuff in here. So first of all, book equal book.find params ID. Once we find the book, we're going to say book dot update title params title snippet params snippet. It should do that. Have anyone has any question why I'm not using instance variable? I'm using the normal variable in patch.
Why?
Okay, you have that question. I was like, why anyone is not asking me that question? So the thing is, we need instance variable when we want to display it on the view. When we are making a patch request, we actually don't want to display it on the view. That's why we are just taking it as a normal variable. Because we don't want to display it any view. And here for patch, now there is no need to create a new view. We already have a book that is showing a particular book. We already have a route that is showing a particular book, right? This route is showing a book. So what we can we redirect from here? Yes. Yeah, can I redirect from here? Like once patch is done, show me that the patch is done. So I'm just gonna do redirect, and we're gonna redirect it to double quotes because we want to redirect to /book/ Now we are in Ruby. How to do string interpolation? Like that. Because we want the book's ID. So we're gonna say book.id.
You want to redirect to the new book that you just made?
No, I want to redirect to the book that I have made change to, not the new book. The book is already present, so the previous book that I have just made change to it, and now we are redirecting to that book. So I can just say book.id, and then if I save it, go back to /edit, and then Said goes to the book publisher and is like, Vidya is wrong. I have returned this book. Change it back to my name. And then it's like, okay, Said, edit book, redirected to the book's information. And now it's like returned by Said. Okay, so it's just like editing the book, redirect it to book's show page so we can see it. I'm getting this ID from here. You can use one more thing. Here, just use the params ID because that's the ID itself. So instead of book ID, if you want to use params ID, that is completely fine as well. Just use one or the other. Just like if anyone wants to think through it. Whew. Boom. Done with these. Just left with this cute little one there. So done with CRU. It's time to talk about D. That means delete a book. I was like, okay, we created a book, but I want to delete it. So it's saying deleting a book. So for deleting a book, do we need a view associated to that book? Yes? No? Okay. I have already this view page for the book, right? How about I just give a delete button there? That as soon as user click on the delete button, it's just going to delete the button. There is no need to create a new view for itself because already book show page is there. So you can, the standard way is you can either create your delete button in your show page or in your edit page. Like where you edit the book, you can delete the book, or in the show page. So in the show page, what I'm going to do is, because I need a button and I need to pass an action and method with this, that's why I'm going to use form /form. And here I'm going to say input type. What is going to be the type? Submit, exactly. And value is going to be delete the book. So if I refresh these, let's see if we can see that or not. Yeah, we have the button that is saying delete the book. Now, we need to create a route to deleting a book. Yes? So in controller, it's going to be delete. And then we need to create a route. So it's going to be /books/id do end. Okay. Our own favorite binding.pry there. And here in show page, as the action, I am saying it will go to /books/ I'm not going to move forward until you guys don't guide me over here. Yeah, so we need to write a Ruby code in there that is going to be, so since it's already a book show page, I can have the book's ID in there. So you just like book.id close there. Method, we're gonna talk about this method in a moment. Okay, can I pass as a method, can I pass delete there?
No.
Because internet understand get and post. So what I'm gonna do is, yes, we're gonna pass a post method there, but under the hood, we're gonna cheat it like how we cheated it here. We're just gonna cheat it there that input type hidden method and value is going to be delete. Okay, so now if I go to my show page, hit this delete book function, we are hitting binding.pry. Okay, now we are hitting that route, we are inside the block. Which book to delete? Whichever one I am on. So if I do that book is giving me the ID that is 23. So I need to find that book and delete that book. Yes or no? So here we're gonna say, let's comment this out. I'm gonna say book equals, since we are not displaying the book in the view anywhere, it's just like for deleting purposes we are using it. I'm making it just a normal variable, and we're gonna do book.find params ID. So we find the book. How to delete the book in active record? It's delete or it's destroy? Yes. So that's a confusion point a little there. Route is gonna call delete. The method is gonna call delete, but active record method is destroy. So we're gonna use book.destroy. Oops. Book.destroy. And once we destroy it, we need to redirect it somewhere. Make sure we never give user a blank page. We always give user something to show. So I'm going to send user back to the book, all the list, so user can see that that book is not there anymore. So I'm just going to say redirect/books. So now let's exit it out. oops, start our server, go back to show page. Okay, no. /23 edit. Oh, no edit because we created to show page. We have this book, right? Let's check this book if we have it in the list. We have it in the list, right? Let's delete. We have 2 Harry Potter. Let's delete one of the Harry Potters. I want to delete this, right? Boom. Harry Potter gone. Talk about this first book. Delete book. Book is gone. So done with delete as well. Question so far. Ooh, I know it felt a little overwhelmed today. It felt a little overwhelmed today, but that's fine. We have to cover all this route in one go. That's how you can understand it. We're gonna get a lot of time to practice this stuff, so don't worry about it, okay? Now, just a quick recap on all this stuff. Connection between REST and CRUD. So REST, that means all the routes. REST stands for represent state transfer. It shows which state you are in. Those shows the route and the pages. So today let's start with looking at our code. So we were having our home page. We were creating the home page and we show the home page. Then books. Showing all the books, we created the index page. Show a particular book, we created the show page. Creating a new book, we created a new page with the get route. And then that get route, that new page is hitting the post route to creating a new post, to creating a new book. Then we are editing the book, but for editing, we need to display user the book. That's why we are giving the view to edit the book. Then at the end, we are editing all the information about the book. And at the end, we are deleting the book. So CRUD application with all the routes. Okay. Yes, Raya?
I was on this HTTP methods. So you said it's reacting actually on the get and post.
Yes.
And with others, we had to somehow magically override.
Mm-hmm.
Does it mean like we can add more ourselves?
Add more ourselves. That means.
The methods like also magically add like.
Oh yeah, I got your point. Like suppose right now in this adding, I'm saying it patch, right? Instead of patch, let's say dance. Okay, let's say dance. Okay, go here, create dance, and it was /books/ID, right? Do end, and I want to just have a put statement there. Dancing. Okay, couple of put statement there. And it's inside our edit, I guess, and yeah. So let's try to hit this. So let's go to these. What I get?
It doesn't know what it is.
Hmm.
He knows what those 4 things are.
Okay, first of all, it's the edit view, right? Edit, let me go there. It's just like, oh, when it reads from top to bottom, dance is not the keyword that they are looking for. It only knows the HTTP word. So dance is not a HTTP word. That's why it's saying like, oh, I don't know what dance is. In controller, these are all HTTP verb. Patch, get, post, delete, all are HTTP verb. But then once it reads, like when it's going to the application controller, in our config.ru file, that is running the application controller. So while before we are hitting that route, it's running and it's saying like, oh, you created a route without an HTTP verb that I don't understand. That's why it's saying like, I don't know what to do with this dance. I cannot create this.
So we understand this 9 HTTP
Verbs.
methods.
Yes, it only.
Uses only 2 of them.
No, the controller understands everything, but internet only uses 2 of them, get and post. So before we reach to controller, we are sending requests through the internet. Like last time we see in our network tab, how we were sending post and patch and all of this stuff. Last Saturday, if you guys remember or not, let me show it one more time. I commented these, and let me get back to whatever we were having before. Patch, start our server again. If I go to inspect in this network, so when I click on this button, actually my browser, that is my internet, is sending requests to my controller. And that request is only understand 2 things, get and post. But controller understand all the HTTP verbs if you want to differentiate those 2. Okay? And a quick another hint point or like a thumb rule for creating the books. Do you need to find the books? Do you need to find the book? No, because we're creating. That means it's initially no book is there. So for creating the book, your route is always going to be /books or /dogs or / whatever your domain is. But to read it, to update it, and to delete it, you need to find the book. Then and only then you can read the book, you can update the book, or you can delete the book. Make sense? Okay. Questions so far? Before I wrap up today? Yes, Nash?
Are we using REST API? Is that what this is?
We are creating REST API.
Yeah, okay, got it. Okay.
This is the part of we are creating REST API. So I believe we talked about REST during our Friday's lecture, Intro to Internet. So REST, that means giving you all those functionality. REST means giving those routes to you. Those routes that we created. Mainly there are 7 routes. We're going to talk about it in tomorrow's routes lecture. So it's like, I think let's practice this today. But we're going to talk about what are the main 7 routes, what are the RESTful routes.
Okay. So when somebody talks about a REST API, can you only create it or is it also like
available?
Yeah.
So when you were using API, I believe that Star Wars API, that was already created API. So that behind that, the API, they wrote something code like this.
Right.
And here we are creating our own APIs.
Okay. So REST API is just creating.
Yeah, it's just like creating all those routes and like, it's just saying that, oh, if you're hitting this route with this method, do this. That's what the whole thing is all about. Okay. Any more question? Okay.